So yeah, a lot of the information that I'm going to tell you comes directly from the codex, sort of made a little bit easier to sort of speak. But if you want to know more about them or expand on anything that I say, if you head to the codex in-game, there is so much to know. Like, I've left out the entire section about the Thargoid War. We'll get to that another day. But essentially, so the Guardians, they were bipedal. They were taller and slimmer
Message
than the
received
average
from
human,
wingmate
with
pilot
pinkish reddish
CX7.
skin, which I think is what
M50
Will's
jumps
gone
from
for
my
today.
next destination.
You've gone for the
By
Guardian
accident.
aesthetic.
Message received from wingmate pilot
So,
CX7.
yes, pinkish reddish
Last
skin.
before Beagle
They
Point.
had little round eyes. They had 4 digits on each hand, like the Simpsons. Brilliant eyesight, but their sense of smell was poorer than the humans. They had 2 sexes and they reproduced sexually, and each Guardian was required to be a parent at least once in their lives to continue their genetic line.
Right, okay, so
Which is interesting because they then had a problem with overpopulation, so I'm not sure that worked out too well for them, but that's fine, that's fine. That's what they had. The babies were raised by communal creches, not traditionally by 2 parents, so you would be sort of brought up by your clan or your village, so you'd learn
That's
a lot from a lot of other people.
that's how I view the community. I've been raised by them. Aramis asked if I was cosplaying as a Guardian.
Yes, today you are a Guardian.
Yeah.
So it's worked out quite well, actually. So, the Society of Guardians, it originally consisted of pack hunters. So they banded together for mutual protection on their planet before they organised into clans, some at the north and some in the south. None really in the middle. So they kind of went up or they went down, and they were very, very clever, so they easily became the planet's apex predators. And then they started, you know, oh
It's
dear.
alright, I'm all fine.
It's alright, I was just like, oh, that was cool. Either way. So yeah, they became the planet's apex predator. We don't know much else about what they hunted, but that's kind of what we have for now. And Guardian civilization consists of 2 discrete ethnic groups, one from the north and one from the south. Pretty simple. If you lived up top, I think you had slightly darker skin. If you lived down the bottom, you had whiter skin, but always pink in the middle.
So sort of like in England, the emboldened rivalry between the north and the south is embodied by the Guardians.
Something like that. Something like that. Grievous Harm is asking how you Earthlings would know that in-game. We will get to that in a little bit. Don't worry, we got that. And the North does remember. And yes, so, as Commander Argo says, they're kind of medium rare.
Sorry, there's a really good question. Batman asks here, anyone tell me, is this going to be a wise idea for a 2-week-old commander to participate in this content? Will I be signing my own death warrant? I think this is
Frost
a great opportunity
Stormwind
to
said
get
the
involved.
limpet says
You start to
25%
learn
pay
about how
night.
to engage
Is
with
that the
Guardian
core?
sites. You can gather some Guardian materials which you'll inevitably need to unlock Guardian modules. So yeah,
Yep. Go out with a lot of other commanders who know what they're talking about and can help protect you or help fight alongside you. You'll be able to get a lot of help. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, Guardian civilization, 2 groups, 1 north, 1 south. Pretty simple. Thing is, as they started to go towards the middle, as their societies got bigger and they started encroaching on each other's territory, they started killing each other. Because of course they did.
That's
Because of course
how
they
it
did.
works, right?
And as such, a civil war erupted, and they started fighting and killing each other, and eventually, even though they were smaller, the northern clan overcame the southern clans, killed them all, took the territory and the rest of the civilization, and led the world peacefully for a while, which was great.
That's good.
Until the
Frost Stormwind said ooh okay.
The civilization developed super rapidly from that point. They were peaceful and prosperous for a few thousand years. But the problem was, because they were developing so fast, they started drawing on all the resources that their planet had, and they realized that they needed to get into space because there was no room, there was no food, there was no fuel, there was just nothing left on their planet that, you know, they'd fought so hard to get, which is a problem. Yeah. So their tech progressed. They got into space with little ships, and then they got better and better and better and had even bigger ships. And they were able to spread across the galaxy nice and easily, and at the peak, at the peak of their civilization, they owned an area roughly the same size that humanity owns now, so about the size of the bubble, which is pretty impressive, which is why you'll see a lot of these things popping up in weird places, you know, near brain trees, so quite no idea really what they do right now. now, but sort of near each other, which is interesting. But yeah, so that's when we come to this thing. So all of these weird sites we started finding are part of what's called the monolith network. And the monolith
network.
The monolith network was part of an interstellar comms system. So essentially like the internet, but all the way across space. Instantaneous, very incredibly fast, share information, talk to each other. But to connect to it, you had to have a chip put in your head. Probably don't know what their heads look like, so yeah, you had a chip put in your head which allowed you to connect to the monoliths and sort of share with everybody else. But obviously there were a sect of Guardians who didn't like this and didn't want to constantly be connected to every other Guardian, via these weird sites. And because they were spread all the way across the galaxy, you just couldn't communicate otherwise. So they weren't too happy. But soon after, the ones that did have the neural chips, they kept working on the technology, and they developed the first fully sentient machines, which we know as constructs. And that's where these guys come in.
So we're talking, when we say these, we talk the Guardian Sentinels
Yes.
that I'm trying to evade right now.
Yes, so the Sentinels were one of the weapon types, the automated weapon types that the Guardians came up with, and
Stuck.
and they used to fight